have the wrong definition of happiness. When I say I'm a happy guy, that does not mean I'm fucking people. I say I'm happy, and people go, "Well, you never smile in your pictures, or you're always complaining. How are you happy?" My view of happiness is different to. I think a lot of people have this view of happiness like it's the same as being a kid. When you see a kid at Christmas and they open up that toy and they're smiling and laughing and, oh, I got this toy. We're grown-ups. We have responsibilities. We have duty. We have more important things to worry about. As a grown-up, you're never going to be happy like you were as a kid. You're never going to be joyful and laughing and smiling all the time. It's just not that's not the human reality of adult happiness. Adult happiness for me is just a lack of absolute sorrow. Like, there's no such thing as cold. There's only a lack of heat. Scientifically, cold doesn't exist. Heat exists, and a lack of heat creates cold. Well, I think it's the same thing with happiness. There's no such thing as happiness. There's just a lack of sorrow. If I'm not grief-stricken, if I'm not sitting here and I'm really devastated, if my family members haven't died, if I'm not bawling my eyes out, if I'm not really struggling, then I'm a happy person because I'm not completely sorrow-filled. But I think a lot of people are somewhere in the middle. And they think because they're not at that giddy, childish happiness, that there's something wrong with them. No grown-up adult is supposed to live at the fucking absolute peak of life's great, I'm happy. No one's supposed to live that way. And we're told we're supposed to live that way. And that if you ever feel a little bit sad, there's something wrong with you. That's not true. We're human beings. It's perfectly normal to wake up and be pissed off and be sad or be this or be that. Because there's nothing wrong with it. The only thing that's wrong with it is to sit there and believe that you need to start taking a pill to fix it.
Oh, God, yeah. Yeah, like it's very scary that thing about the fucking pills and all that shit. Like, because that is a confession that there's nothing you can do, and it just erodes your soul. But my man, we've got a few more questions that we'll rapid fire through, because this is an endless topic. Yeah. I want to ask Tate from where he gets his energy and what sits his soul engine. I want to ask Tate from where he gets his energy and maybe where sits his soul engine.
That's a good question, but I don't know. Like we spoke earlier about how I speak things into existence to give myself unlimited motivation. That's one thing. I still do that to this day, bro. I've been doing that for years. I still do that. I'll sit there and think, you know what? I don't want to do that, but I'm going to say it to someone. I don't just say it to myself. I say it to somebody because then I'm accountable. I'll say it to someone. I'll go say, Tristan, my brother or whoever, I'll say, I'm going to do this. And they'll go, no, you won't. So now it's a challenge. Now you think I'm a bitch. Do you know what I mean? So now it's a competition. Now I get to win. So that's the one thing. Second thing is, I don't like to waste words. I mean, if I'm going to say something, I'm going to say it with passion. Like, why talk otherwise? Like, you know what? Actually, one guy came up to me, a guy who I randomly met. He recognized me from Twitter in Thailand. He came up to me and started talking to me. And then he fucking did a little hit piece on me on Twitter and started tweeting things at me, insulting me, saying that when he met me, he was disappointed because I didn't talk very much. I thought Tate would be this crazy guy, and he didn't talk very much, and there was girls in the bar. He didn't try and talk to the girls, and he was just really barely said anything, and he was just sitting on his phone. And the guy's a loser. Anyway, the point is, because I see someone I barely know, I'm supposed to jump up and start trying to get him laid, am I? Shut up. Anyway,
yeah, it's that thing that happens with a lot of people who are big, is that they are a character, you know, and then when people meet them in real life, they're like, be the character, and it's like, dude, I'm a person, like, fuck off.
But the point is also that right now, what I'm speaking to you, I'm saying it with meaning. I know it's gonna resonate with people. I know it's gonna be on the internet. So my energy is, if I'm gonna talk, it's gonna have meaning. Most of the time, my general day-to-day life, I do get described as a quiet person because I don't speak unless I really believe it has an impact or an effect.
Yeah, that's very interesting.
I will sit in groups with like friends and not talk for hours. And people say to me, "Why don't you talk?" I just say, "Because I have nothing. You're talking about bullshit. Like, I don't care. What are we talking about? Breaking Bad? Like, I don't care. Like, I don't care. So I don't talk a lot in general. So I think it looks like I'm super energetic. It's just kind of like, how do I say it? Like a light is either on or off.
Yes. That's a very interesting, because you would strike me as very extroverted and the sort of person sitting there at the table and just being like talking. But that does make a lot of sense. Is that if you put gravitas into your words, why would you expect yourself to be doing small talk all the time? Like it's that's completely counterintuitive. So that will involve becoming the more introverted warrior samurai type from time to time, and you'll just have to make peace with that. And that's actually part of the process. It's like, fuck, I just need to shut up here.
Why does gold have value? Because it's rare.
Yeah.
So if I'm in a business meeting and there's 5 of us and everyone's talking, I may only say 5 words, but people listen to what I say. You know what I'm saying? So
yes.
all the time I don't talk that much. And that's because I'm very specific with what I say, 1. And 2, because if I'm going to say something, I'm going to say it with meaning. I don't do small talk. I don't really talk about things I'm not interested in. I'm very to the point. If we're sitting around and we start talking about something I care about, yeah, sure, I'll jump in. But there's a whole bunch of conversation that I don't give a fuck about. And I know that as humans, you kind of feel like to not be awkward, you kind of got to join in. But I'm very clear about the point. I don't care. I'll openly say, "Oh God, I don't care. Just keep talking, guys." And I'll sit on my phone, tweet or whatever. I'm very prepared to not speak. And I feel like that means, like I said, a light's either on or off. A lot of people go through life and they're half on. I've heard this from someone else. This dimly lit. I'm not sure where I heard it from. I think it might have been Floyd Mayweather. He said that they're asking him if he thinks about fights outside of the gym, and he said, "No, I don't," because a lot of people are like a half-lit light bulb, always worrying about it. I think about it 1,000,000% in the gym, and then when I leave the gym, I turn it off. I think that's a good way to be with your words. If I'm going to talk with conviction, I'm going to talk with passion, I'm going to say it how I mean it, because I'm on. But if I'm off, I'm off. I'm not going to be the guy who sits there and is like, "Oh yeah, interesting. So yeah, so where did you go to school?" Like, I don't care. I don't care enough. I'm just going to be honest. I don't care. That's how it is. So it's on or off with me. If I'm going to talk, it's going to mean something, or I'm not going to talk. So this dickhead will come up to me and goes, "You barely spoke to me. I don't know you, and I didn't think you were very interesting. I didn't want to talk to you. Like, why the fuck would I?" So it's just how it is.
Gentlemen, this is a very fascinating concept. I most definitely am going to have a good think and put it into practice and see what I can